If you spent even 5 minutes on financial YouTube, you've probably seen people in the FIRE crowd retiring in their 50s, 40s, and sometimes even their 30s. But here's the real question. Can you retire in just under 10 years, starting from $0, like literally $0 in the bank? I'm Terrell Higgins, your real estate and personal finance guide, and I've thought about this question a lot. When I graduated from college, I didn't have some kind of financial blueprint, no inheritance, no secret sauce, just a bunch of trial and error and financial mistakes. In under 12 years, I was able to achieve millionaire status. But if I knew then what I know now, I could have easily shaved off 2 or 3 years. So in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down the 4 key steps that you need to go from broke to work optional in under a decade. Let's get into it. You wouldn't run a race if you didn't know where the finish line was, right? Same thing goes for retirement. And that finish line is called your financial independence number, or FI number. And the way you figure it out is you take your annual spending and you multiply it by 25. And this is based off something called the 4% rule. So the 4% rule states that you can safely withdraw 4% of your portfolio every year without running out of money. And the reason this works is because the S&P 500 on average gets about 10% a year. So if you take out 4%, your growth is outpacing your withdrawals and you never run out of money. So if you spend $40,000 a year, if you multiply that by 25, your financial independence number is $1 million. And here's the part where most people mess up. They guess what their annual spending is. I think I spend about $3,000 a month. But when they actually look at their bank and credit card statements, they realize they're spending closer to $5,000 a month. So don't guess. Pull the data or use a tool like Monarch Money or Credit Karma and have it automatically categorize your spending for you. Because once you put a number to your financial independence, the whole journey becomes real. It goes from someday to I need $1.4 million to actually retire. Now that you know your financial independence number, it's time to clean house. Your essential baseline is your bare bones version of your life. The truly non-negotiables. This is your housing, your utilities, your internet, cell phone, insurance. Add all of those up. And ideally, it shouldn't be more than 50% of your take-home pay. And your housing, it really shouldn't be more than 30% of your take-home pay. And if you're way over that, it's time to downsize. House hack or move to a lower cost of living area, call those utility providers to try and slash those prices. Because the smaller the amount of money you have to spend each month, the lower your financial independence number is going to be. This is why really frugal people win at the financial independence game, because they are playing a shorter game. And this is where things get fun. So we're at step 3, and we're going to plug everything into a retirement calculator. We're going to use one of my favorite tools. It's Net Worthify. It's an early retirement calculator. And let's say you make about $50,000 a year and you have a 10% savings rate. That means you're saving right around $417 per year. And if you put that in the stock market and you get average returns of about 10% a year, you're going to hit your financial independence number in about, wait for it, 33.1 years. That's a whole traditional career. So what happens if we actually bump up this savings rate? So at 20% savings rate, it'll take 25.2 years. At 40% savings rate, it's going to take 16.3 years. And at a 60% savings rate, you'll get there in 10.3 years. So what's the big takeaway here? The single biggest lever that you can pull in your financial independence journey is your savings rate. The more aggressive your savings rate is, the faster you're going to reach your financial independence goals. Your savings rate is the real secret sauce here. And people tend to think it's your income that matters the most, but it's not about how much you make, it's about how much you can actually keep. Because the savings rate being near 60% is what's gonna get you to financial independence in about 10 years. And this is regardless of your income.
Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
And yeah, saving 50 to 60% of your take-home income sounds intense, but the truth is, retirement isn't a math problem. It's a behavior problem. Lifestyle creep, fancier cars, bigger houses, they are the real enemy keeping you from hitting your financial independence number. And if you're getting some value out of today's video, leave a like. It tells the algorithm that this is good stuff, and it's going to spread it to more people so they can escape their 9 to 5. So let's say you tighten your budget and you can only get your savings rate to 40%. Can you make up the difference by earning more on your investment? And the answer is yes, you absolutely can. Now check this out. The S&P 500 over the last 15 years has actually made 13.39%. So that alone would have shortened your timeline to 14.3 years. And if you were to invest in the S&P 500 growth, that would have actually made you 14.87% every year across the last 15 years. And you would have been able to retire in 13.6 years. So Russell 1000 growth, you would have made 15.58%. That means you could have retired in 13.3 years. And if you invested in the NASDAQ 100, you would have made 17.85% every year. And you could have retired in 12.4 years. So what would your investments have to earn to retire in 10 years with a 40% savings rate? A return closer to 25% a year. Sounds insane, right? But I've actually done it, and I'm going to show you how. So you have two options here. The first one is real estate, and this is how I personally hit millionaire status in about 12 years. And to be honest, it felt like a cheat code. So let's do the math here. So if you bought a $300,000 house and you put 20% down, that's $60,000. And if you're getting $500 a month in cash flow, that's $6,000 a year in profits. That's 10% right there. And then if the home appreciated 3% in a year, that's the historical average that homes appreciate. That's another $9,000. So between those two things, you're at $15,000. That's 25% on your $60,000 investment right there. And this is before we even look at the tax benefits or the fact that your tenants are paying down your mortgage for you, or the ability to use low down payment options like FHA loans, VA loans, or doing partnerships with other people. Real estate is so powerful because you have these four things driving up your wealth. That cash flow, that appreciation, those tax benefits, and that pay down of your mortgage. Now, option two, and this one's not for everyone, but I have to mention it because I use this one too, is leveraged ETFs. And there's a lot of leveraged ETFs out there, but the ones that I like actually track indexes like the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ 100. And the way these work is they do a multiple of the underlying index. So 2x or 3x what the index actually does. So if the S&P 500 goes up 10%, these ETFs are going to go up 20 or 30%. But they are extremely volatile. That's why they're not suitable for most people. These things can go down 40% in a bad year, and they suffer from something called decay, and that can slowly eat into your performance over time. But if you have the stomach for it, and you can dollar cost average into some of these leveraged index fund ETFs, like TQQQ or UPRO, you can easily hit those 25+% returns in the market. But like I said, it is not for everyone. Most people don't have the stomach for that level of volatility. And even if you do have the stomach for that level of volatility, it should be a small slice of your overall investing profile. Now let's do a recap. So step one is knowing your financial independence number. Step two is calculating and cutting to your bare essentials. Step three is really dialing in your savings rate. And then step four is boosting your investment returns by smartly investing. And if you take these 4 steps, early retirement isn't a dream, it becomes inevitable. And if today's video helped you rethink what is actually possible with early retirement, leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel, because I give no-nonsense practical financial tips like this every single week. And if a savings rate of 60% still feels impossible, check out my next video on why people make the wrong financial decisions even though they know what they're supposed to be doing. Keep getting 1% better every day, and I'll catch you in the next video.
Wait a minute.